You're listening to The Roots, a podcast from Minnesota AMA District 23 ARMCA. I'm your host, Jackie Reese. Let's dive deeper into what makes our district so great. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of The Roots. It's been a hot couple of weeks here in Minnesota, and I hope you have been drinking plenty of water, getting in the lake, and enjoying your time on your motorcycle. Now, today's guest is Claire Wheatley, and you might know her better by her maiden name of Cripps. Her dad, Scott, is very involved with District 23 ARMCA, and Claire has been racing motocross for basically her entire life. We actually used to battle on the track together back in the day, so that'll be really fun to get into with Claire. And she has been embarking on a new journey in her life. She recently graduated from physical therapy school. So she is a doctor and she began a business called Beyond Physical Therapy. We're going to dive deeper into what Beyond Physical Therapy is and maybe how you as a racer can benefit from physical therapy. Welcome everybody to episode 7 with Claire Wheatley. Claire, how's it going?
Awesome. How about you?
It's going good. It's been warm. We were just talking earlier. It's been
Very
so
warm.
Yeah. So
this is the time of year that's hard to ride. You get sweaty when you're out of shape, and this is just way worse.
Oh, I know. Trust me. So we were just chatting about the good old days when we used to battle each other on the motocross track. Let's take a step before that. Where did motocross and dirt biking begin for you?
Yeah. So it began with my dad. He grew up racing and his parents didn't love that he did it. So he just did it by himself. And I've been riding. I was thinking about it today. I've been riding literally longer than I can recall back. Like there's pictures of me on a PW and I'm like, sweet, no recollection of it. So just been riding. Both my older brothers rode and then everyone in my family still rides. We don't race as much, but we just grew up on two wheels and in a hockey rink. So yeah.
Right on. So you mentioned your dad, and your dad's really involved with District 23 ARMCA. How did he really shape your racing career growing up?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, racing for us was just family time and spending the weekends together and having fun. He shaped everything. He's always like, be a good sport, go and have fun. I think he shaped me being a fair weather rider because he's like literally my favorite quote from him. We're at Little Falls for area qualifier one year and he goes, we're sitting in the motorhome at like 6 a.m. It's raining bullets. And he goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but I ain't gonna get my bike dirty. And I just died. Like I will never forget that. And I don't ride if it's muddy. I only ride if it's like perfect conditions. So I blame him for that too.
Blame or thank, something like that.
Both. I didn't have to do a lot of the bike work. So
either way, it was a good deal.
Yes.
I have a request for other funny Scott stories. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
He might kill me for this, but he always like just hangs out in his undies in the camper. And like, people come by and like, I'm 27 now and like my husband's there too. And my husband's like, God, he's just always in his underpants. Like he never has pants on. When he's in the camper, he just hangs out. He puts in work during the day and then he just chills, like undies and movies. That's his jam. So I think that's something that probably not a lot of people know. He'll probably hate me for saying that, but that, and then what else? I don't know. I feel like everyone sees Scott as such like a serious and like, he's the ref. So like he handles a lot of those situations and my mom and him do the micro track at Millville. So people are like, know them as like the rules people and those kinds of things, but they just have such a good time.
So we learned that we should knock on the camper door before we just walk in.
Always knock.
So going back to your racing career a little bit, you've been to Loretta's before. You were pretty darn good on the track too. What is your biggest accomplishment personally?
Oh man, that's just throwback just thinking about it. I did go to Loretta's. I was horrible, but it was a super good experience. It's just crazy how fast these ladies are, right? I mean, and they just keep getting faster.
Mhm.
My biggest accomplishment, I don't know. I had like one good year when I was on like a Cowie 100. That was pretty cool. Like racing in the girls and women's class and like battling with the big bikes. That was always fun. I just think me riding, still riding, is probably my biggest accomplishment. Like after the whole accident at Millville and everything, I don't think I ever was the same on the bike, but I have a blast still, and I would say that's my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. We were chatting about that too. And I was trying to remember stories of us racing together. And I was like, man, the only one I can come up with is when Claire crashed in right in front of me and broke her back. So I guess tell us a little bit about how that accident happened and how it impacted your riding going forward.
Yeah, so I don't honestly really know what happened. I think I got a third place start, and the two people in front of me crashed, and I didn't have anywhere to go. And then that was kind of the end. So I broke my back and my femur and spent a couple days at Rochester Mayo getting both of those fixed up. And then just the story from there was getting better, doing some rehab, and going to play college hockey. So my coach wasn't a big fan of motocross after that injury. Also, my husband, not a big fan of motocross after that injury, my dad's injury. But I mean, for me, and I think for a lot of people, moto is just fun. It's dangerous, but we don't do it to get rich or famous or all that. We just do it to ride, stay active, and have fun. So I would say that's kind of it, just reminded me that it is just for fun. And, if you can still ride, then that's pretty dang good because life could be a lot different.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've seen so many traumatic injuries to people where they weren't as fortunate as you to get back up and
Yeah.
get back on the horse. And, that's tough to see. And I'm sure that that is something you deal with now in your career. So, as I mentioned previously in the intro, you're a physical therapist now, which is so awesome that you made it through school. That's congratulations in its own, doctor. um,
Thank you.
yeah. So I guess take us through a little bit of why you wanted to become a physical therapist.
Yeah. So growing up, I was always busy like chatting with people and like running around. And as I got older, I was like, man, I do not see myself in a desk job. Like I just didn't see it. I didn't think it would make me happy. And actually, the injury at Millville kind of led me to finding out about physical therapy. I knew I was always interested by the human body. And then when you break yours and have to put it back together and get strong, you learn a lot. And um, my physical therapist for my injury was so cool. I walked in the first day and I'm like, I gotta be ready to play college hockey in 4 months. Like, let's go. Like, push me as hard as you need to push me. Let's do it. And she did. And I played and it was great. And she's like one of my best friends right now. And I know her kids and it's just really cool. So um, get to connect with people on a daily basis, make a huge impact on their life. It could be a broken back and leg, or it could be a sprained ankle. Like it doesn't matter how severe the injury is, you get to connect and just help them. And it was a lot of school. You're like, yes, big congrats to be done. I am so done with school. Never going back. Never ever. So it was 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of grad school. Cool to have the doctor behind my name. But no, it's just cool. I get to help people every day and be up and on my feet. And I basically am a teacher, right? I'm just teaching people, why they're moving one way, what they need to do to fix it, and going through that. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had my fair share of physical therapy, so I can understand what you do on a daily basis. For people who might not be as familiar with the services associated with physical therapy, what are some common things that you do on a daily basis, and what are some like weirder, more uncommon, unique therapies that actually really work for people?
Yeah. So on a daily basis, I see kind of a range of people. It can be anything from like an elite athlete to just a normal average Joe, right? Like myself. Whether you're like a weekend warrior, just active, or you tweak something in your back, lifting, like doesn't matter. So there's a huge variety, a lot of post injury or injury prevention, things like that. So if you go out and play a soccer game and you hurt your hip, just teaching you ways to decrease the pain, increase the strength, and kind of move on from that, get it feeling better and reduce the risk for injury in the future. So that's kind of fun. Or it can be post surgical, where you had a hip knee replacement, whatever, tore your shoulder. Do you know anything about hurting your shoulder?
Maybe.
Yeah. So just doing things like that. I mean, you name it in the body, it can be strength, balance, man, anything. So um, I get to do a lot of teaching, like I was saying, just educating about how the body works, how, why you're having this pain or this soreness, and then how we fix it. So we do a lot of education, strength, kind of reteaching that brain body connection. So doing a lot with awareness for people. And then recently started doing dry needling, which has been really cool. I had done me one or two times for my back actually. And then they teach you about it in school, but it's more of a specialty. And so I've recently started doing that in the last few months and gotten some really cool results with people quickly as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of the dry needling, and at first it sounds like kind of scary to people, right? Like, here's Claire, she's just going to stab me with all these needles. But you do it in the proper way that the muscle actually, like, if you have a knot in that muscle, it just relieves that, and then you're able to strengthen that again. So I've seen
Yeah.
personally great success with that, and we're going to do some more of that in the future, which is going to be super cool for me and probably for you too.
Yeah. I mean, I've needled a couple people at Millville already and they've seen good results. And like you're saying, it's immediate, right? You get that tight muscle and it loosens up, and then you're just like, it's just a whole new ball game. And it's
Yeah.
fast too. So that's the even better thing for us moto people. I think literally everyone at Millville or any track has a limp or back pain or some shoulder neck pain maybe, it's just kind of part of the game. So it's cool to be able to offer that and be able to get the moto community feeling better and keep them on their bikes is the goal. So yeah, we'll have to do some needling next time, whatever track we're at together, and do a little post and we can show people your reaction to getting needled.
For sure, for sure. So you've been talking about how you're doing this at motocross tracks, which is something that's really unique to you and your business. Let's talk a little bit about how you're trying to change the game of physical therapy.
Yeah. So right now, unfortunately, physical therapy as a whole is mostly run by insurance. So I created a cash-based physical therapy business where I can pretty much treat anyone anywhere through my own professional insurance, and we just pay cash and go from there. So right now I have clinics. I rent space in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and Waconia, where we're living right now, and then I also offer home visits or telehealth, just like this. Doing a Zoom call and things like that, and then also bringing it to the tracks. So just trying to be really accessible to people and make them, a lot of people are curious and they don't know. So just providing that education and getting them feeling good. A lot of us want to be active and feel good and do as much as we can in life. And sometimes you just need a little bit of help to get to where you need to be.
Yeah, for sure. So uh, for the average Joe motocross racer or dirt bike rider on the weekend for fun, what is something that you could recommend to them that would help them succeed on the track, or something like that they should be cognizant of in their mind uh, going onto the track of how their body feels on the motorcycle?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say just make sure like everything is awake, right? Like it's such a mental sport too. You're picking lines as you go, where you're going fast, you're doing jumps. You need to make sure you're warmed up, whether that for you that's like a quick stretch or a couple jumping jacks. I've seen you warm up a couple times as our camps are right next to each other, just making sure you're like up and at it and like mentally focused, whatever that is for each person, whether it's waking up and drinking a bottle of water and just kind of like making sure you're good to go for the day or whatever you need to do. I know for me, I always got a little nervous, like at least on race day, maybe not on practice day, where you're like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, you're uh, doing some visual imagery of the track, and you're went and already looked at the track, so you kind of know what to expect, different things like that, where you're not just going in blind. So, whether you're going to do some squats and jumping jacks or some stretches, just wake your body up, wake your mind up, and then focus, right? That's pretty much it. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Yeah. So a couple different options. I like to be easily accessible. So I like to give people my phone number. So I'm going to give my cell phone here, and it's 320-583-0939. And if you want to get scheduled, you can shoot me a text. Otherwise, or give me a phone call. Otherwise, I do have a website. It's www.beyondptmn.com. And we're updating the website right now. So hopefully in the next week or so, it'll be looking good.
Nice.
And then also there's a Beyond PT Facebook page that you can book directly through. And then you pick, whether you want Hutch, Waconia, a home visit, or if you want to do something at the track, you just add that in. And then I'll bring a table with the tracks. We can do it at my camp, your camp, whatever works best.
Cool. That's awesome. I think it's really cool that you're bringing the services to people who might not otherwise, search out for that service of physical therapy. So thank you so much, Claire. It's been pretty cool to hear about, your the health side of motocross, not just going fast on the track. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thanks for joining us. Catch us every other Monday wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on our YouTube page.